Hello and welcome to Amok Studios. Today I'm going to cover my favorite cold connection, the tube rivet. The tools I'm using today, the metal that I'm going to rivet on, I've got 3 sizes of tube. Got some sterling and brass, a center punch, a ball peen hammer, some round files, drill bits, and the drill gauge. Some optional tools, if you have them, that can be helpful is a dapping set, this Roper Whitney hole punch, or these swanstrom hand punches. They come in different sizes. But sometimes you can get lucky and have just the right hole punch that fits your tubing. The first step is to figure out what drill bit size I'm going to need for this sterling tubing that I'm using. And it is about a 4 millimeter tube. So I'm going to take it to the drill gauge and just start kind of going in to figure out which okay, that one feels just right. You want a pretty snug fit, so then I can come here and see that it's a number 11 drill bit. I'm going to take the center punch and create a divot where I want the rivet to go. This will help the drill bit find the center spot without skipping across the metal. The next step is to drill our hole, and to do that you'll need either just an old school hand drill, a Dremel, your flex shaft, or a drill press. I'm just going to demo with my hand drill. I'm just going to clamp it down. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a blade lubricant to the drill bit. So we'll just need a little round file to clean that up. It is a little more difficult with the hand drill when you've got a larger drill size, but we can clean that up. And that's a nice snug fit. It's exactly what you want. You want to be able to get it in fairly easy, but it's not going anywhere. So now we need to determine how much tubing we need. And this is the tricky part, and we'll take some trial and error, but it's really pretty darn slight what you need to have above the drill. I'd say like a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm just going to mark the other side with my pencil. I'm going to cut an extra piece just in case I drop that first one. Little lubricant on the saw blade, and you want to keep your saw frame vertical as you're cutting. And a real light grip on the handle, just straight up and down. And when I feel like I'm almost through, I'll just bend it like that. That way it doesn't fly off the bench. Okay. And then I can just take that over some sandpaper and clean up the cut edges. And we're ready to rivet. Oops. Oh, see, that's exactly why I cut an extra piece. I'll look for that later. Okay, now we're ready to rivet. I've placed the tubing into the hole that we drilled, and I measured it's 2 millimeters or a 1/16 is what I've left on either side. So you do need something hard that you can hammer on, just a little steel block or a tiny anvil. I like to get the rivet started with the center punch. And just give it a couple of taps and it starts to flare. And if you don't have a center punch, you can totally just start it with the round side of your ball peen hammer. But I think the center punch just gets a good flare right off the bat with a couple of hits. So I'm going to flip it and do the other side. And I'm going to change over to some dapping punches now. And you can see that gets even more flared. Flip and do a couple of hits on the other side. Moving up to a larger size. Couple of hits, flip, and a couple of hits. And at this point, you can just move to the flat side of your hammer. Just a couple of hits, and I'm not hitting real hard. And keep your hand towards the back of the hammer so you have more of the weight coming down. Just constantly flipping until you've got it completely flared. And that's a really strong rivet. I'm going to do one more smaller size, and again we just go through the drill gauge to find which drill bit we need. So here I've got a number 30, which is missing, and hopefully this is it on my table. Okay. Well, this is a good example. This one is a little bit smaller than what I need, but I can go ahead and use this and then just ream out the hole a tad with a round file. So let's use this one. Just need to make a divot. I'm going to clamp that to my bench and drill it out. so much easier to hand drill a smaller hole. Just gonna file off some of that rough on the back side. Okay, so now I've got a drilled hole that's too small for my tubing. It's not gonna go in there. But we can fix that with a round file. And you want to flip and do it on both sides because your file is tapered, so you're not getting, if you don't go on both sides, you're not really getting that hole drilled out the same. A little bit more. Perfect. So again, I'll just eyeball, trying to leave 2 millimeters or a 1/16 inch bit of tube on each side. Okay. Just going to start with the center punch. And again, if you don't have the dapping, just use the round part of your ball peen hammer and lightly tap on the outer edge of the tube. And you'll see it start to flare. Just flip, do a little bit on the back side. And I'm kind of hammering and going out. I want to just hit on the outside edge. And now I feel like I have it flared enough. I can come back with the back side of the hammer. And there you have a tube rivet. Again, this is my favorite cold connect. It's really strong. I feel it's a lot stronger than just the wire rivets.